series of the day over here on E-League. So what is it that Frontline need to do then to survive against this hugely favorite EnVy roster?
Pray to whatever god they worship. I mean, it's going to be tough. When you have Turbo Pulse on a team, he brings that veteran mindset just instantly, immediately to them. They go, wait, we got the greatest player of all time on our team, and it does something for their morale. And you see how fast Mist and Atomic are, and we know just the mechanical monster that Atomic is and can be at any time he wants to. So to have Turbo sitting back there, just knowing that he's going to hold down the fort, it just does wonders for him. But that's a dangerous double tap. It goes close enough for Andy to clean up shop.
It does indeed, Delta. Look at that. Look at that second touch. Such angle on it. I think Atomic tried, I don't know if he was trying to be clever or if he was just left in a tough position due to the quality of that assist. But Andy does break the deadlock at 4:20, and it's 1-0 to Team Frontline. Here's Turbo in the far corner. Oh, what a touch from him. His mechanics have really improved recently as well. I think that he's been taking lessons from Atomic and Mist, but you can see there that when it comes down to bare bones, it's still going to be those two that are the ones that are coming in to be the real aggressors. Delta saves Atomic's shot off the ceiling fairly handily. This is going to go around it, but a touch from Andy and Turbo Pulsar just pushes that ball high. Here's Delta onto the backboard. Can he get something else special? He's already got that assist, but Turbo Pulsar reads that one off the backboard well. And he attempts another one. Mist is already onto the back wall to try and cover it. He puts it a little bit high again, and a double commit from Atomic and Turbo Pulsar works out due to the quality of the clearance. But EnVy having a few sighters against them right now.
Yeah, they're just kind of reading their opponents, and you're going to see that a lot, especially when Turbo Pulsar is on that roster. He's so good at reading teams and learning how to pick them apart on the fly, and good demo there from Mist, but the ball's already back to the orange half as Atomic has to try and clean this up. He's got a defender coming on that side wall, but a good flick. But Turbo Pulsar and Mist playing very close to the net, smartly just covering up. Don't want to go down 2 goals, and that's twice now. Turbo Pulsar has been punched in the mouth right on the goal line, and Atomic just going to fire a shot right at Delta, forcing him to go up.
There's a good dribble away.
It was. Sorry, no, you're fine. And that's this whole online thing. We can't look each other in the eyes. We can't hold hands while we're casting. It's just the worst.
When we are together, we shall hold hands visibly on air. But until then, we'll have to just try and figure out when the other one is talking. Just like EnVy need to try and figure out how to get this ball out of the blue half, because it's not really happening so much right now. What I was going to say was, they look most likely when dribbling the ball away and then getting one of those well-timed flicks. But Frontline seems to be able to deal with that. They might get a second here. Andy dancing him on the defense gets his second goal.
My goodness, what is going on with the defense right now for Team EnVy? That's a beautiful read, and
that's how they get missed.
You hate to see it. They were hearing us talk about holding hands. They wanted to replicate it on the field, but doesn't work too well when you're trying to play defense.
Not at all. 2-0 now for Frontline. EnVy need to step up their game, it seems. Atomic got to the backboard. This could be it. He loves those backboard plays. He sets up Turbo. A Beastabonium drops out of nowhere. What a save that was. My camera was on Delta, but it was his teammate that came in to save the day. And EnVy struggling to score goals.
And Team Frontline up by 2, but when you take a look at the saves, they've got 6 already on target. And another one. Andy already with a hat trick here in game number 1.
Strange goals, though. I'm not sure how much this can be replicated throughout a series, but for now, we'll just enjoy what we're seeing and believe in the Frontline upset. Andy just nipping ahead of Turbo Pulsar there, who seemed very sluggish going for that ball. Team Frontline playing quality Rocket League. Again, as I said earlier, this was a team that was 1 series away from making it to the playoffs, so they are no slouches at all. EnVy are going to have to start playing a lot better than this if they want any chance of getting themselves into this series, but this could be the chance they were after. Up high from Mist. He's got that 100 boost as well, so a bit of starvation coming in from them. I mean, if nothing else, they're a team that won't panic with Turbo, especially with awkward touches like that in defense, and it's 3-1 now.
I mean, if you're just going to absolutely stop the ball on the goal line with Turbo that close, you better expect to get scored on, and good pressure there from the 4-time to bring them back within 2.
1 minute and 30 seconds left for a couple more goals. Turbo getting himself on the score sheet there. It was a little bit awkward in defense. I say a little bit awkward. It was almost an own goal. They'd love another, though, Team EnVy, but they need to force the issue more than they currently are. Mist is trying to do that, going around the world and getting this early touch. Good speed from him. A man in fine form right now, but it's EnVy that clears away, beating Atomic to that one. Turbo, as ever, in the perfect place at the perfect time to find Mist almost. Andy waiting for this one under Delta. He's already got a hat-trick this game. Can he get a fourth? Trying to just force the ball forward. And EnVy once again append, and there's not really been too much sustained pressure from EnVy. The goal that they got, it was from a one-off. The chances that they've had, it's been from 50-50s and maybe 1 or 2 solo plays. But really, the pressure, I would say, has been all front lines throughout the entire game. This could be their fourth. Turbo saves, and Atomic up against Delta can only find his opponent.
And to be honest, I wouldn't say either team has had consistent pressure. It's just been back and forth, and both teams trying to assert their dominance at midfield. And obviously the scoreline tells a different story, but it's been like this. Just hit the ball forward, and we're going to hit it back towards you. But right now, Team EnVy need one right now if they want a chance to send this to overtime. And that's a good bump in air, but Delta going to clean up in the corner. Mist can't do much with this, and Andy going to push it away. And this one's going in favor of Team Frontline. You love the passing play that just tried to develop, but way too little, way too late.
Upset day shows signs of continuing. This could be the second in a row, and what a performance from Andy. He took his chance as well. He was in the right place at the right time, and I think the biggest thing you can say about Team Frontline is that they showed no fear coming up against Team EnVy here. They did not show any respect to their opponents, and I mean that in the best way. And EnVy just struggled to deal with it. I feel like they were going out here expecting to have more of the play to themselves, and it just was not panning out like that at all.
And let's be honest, anytime you only have one save in a match, that's no good. You got to play better defense, and that's all it boils down to. And for them to play better defense, I think it needs to start with the communication. We saw a few double commits. We saw team bumps. We saw just odd spacing. And for them, it's going to be an easy fix. All you got to do is talk to one another.
Oh, we were already wrong, Subi. We said this would be comfortable for EnVy, but it's not how it's panning out at all. With Frontline playing like this, but Game 2 could be all different on Urban. Delta sends EnVy right back, and Mist will get a nice catch. Not too much boost to play with, though, so his flick is only as far as Beast Abonium. Atomic gets the read and wants to get the second touch as well. Oh, look at that. That's brilliant. Forcing them into the corner. Such creativity. Tries to set up Turbo Pulse with a deft touch. Almost happened, but not quite yet again. Oh, here we go.
Again, the passing play. You love those right at midfield, going immediately from defense to offense.
It's to the side out wide for Turbo, who backflips. But it does no harm at all because Delta, I think, was showing Turbo the respect, expecting him to get that. That's really fast pace from Delta, though. And Atomic and Mist double committing. Seen a couple of those in defense from EnVy. Haven't been punished just yet, these double commits, but not the usual well-oiled EnVy that we're used to seeing. And that is all Frontline's doing. They're speeding past them at every opportunity. They're making EnVy question themselves, which is a very tough thing to do. Andy into the air. Does he get the flip reset? He doesn't. Instead, he takes another touch and tries to dunk Turbo Pulse. He manages it. Can Turbo recover? Not quite, but Delta and Beast Abonium had turned away from it. That could have been 1-0 to Frontline, but it wasn't to be, and this is saved by Atomic. I'm not sure who's more likely to score here. It seems that Frontline are just having their chances. Now, this is it. Beast Abonium, but well saved from Atomic. And I take it back. I am sure who's more likely to score, and it's Frontline.
Absolutely. They are doing so good on offense and positioning themselves so well. Yeah, bump in Turbo, bump and Mist. You gotta talk on defense. That's too many times we've seen it, especially from these veteran players.
It's a miss from Delta. Atomic was nowhere near. Didn't expect that in a million years, the way the Frontline are playing. They're trying to slow play this ball in. EnVy just trying to stay disciplined, rotate all the way back to their own half, and then get these passes when the time is right. Maybe it is right this time, and that is what EnVy can do. Look at the quality on that goal.
I mean, this pass from Mist and then Atomic sees the defense sitting right in net. No shot available to him. Maybe the upper 90 in the right-hand side, but his teammate had a way better look, and Mist just launches that on target, giving EnVy their first lead in this series.
Now Mist, can he double it down and get a couple of quick-fire punches for EnVy? Just to really make this game theirs. He tries to be found. Oh my goodness, Turbo Pulsar isn't quite there, but Atomic is. Mist and he are combining all of a sudden in attack, and it's 2-0.
Turbo putting it up to Mist and almost connecting with Turbo Pulsar again, but in comes Atomic, and you think, wow, a triple commit on offense? No, that's just good pressure there, reading the defense well, and putting another goal in the back of the net, and another one, no. Good defense from Delta.
Good bump, though. It's really tough now. Mist and Andy and Delta was in there, too. About 4 players in close proximity, but what happened is that Frontline clear it. Could have done better with that shot, Beastabonium. Wasn't quite up to scratch, and it's saved easily by EnVy, who now have a counter. Missed towards Turbo Pulsar. His shot is a little bit too close to the goal, so it isn't great. But Frontline still causing trouble for EnVy. EnVy's a little bit dodgy in defense. Beastabonium goes long, too long, so Turbo Pulsar comes in from the side and covers it. Atomic is just having a little boogie in the goal there, all around the pole of the post, making it a little bit awkward for himself. But he's recovered well. Andy comes in, wants to get this second touch, but can't. It's to Beastabonium. Delta's in the middle, but Andy actually takes over from Beastabonium. I'm not sure that was needed. I think Beastabonium had a pinch. Andy had other ideas, and it remains 2-0.
And it led to this turnover here, but they go right back to offense, and Andy gets that. Did he get a flip reset off the ball to go into it, or did you just hold on to it for a little while? Either way, keeps the pressure, but Turbo Pulsar just pokes it downfield, and Atomic gonna take Andy away, but Team Frontline doing a great job with these clears to just go from defense immediately back to offense.
Well, the clearances are good, but the problem is against EnVy that they are so disciplined and so happy to be all the way back into their own goal that deep, dark booms are not really what you need against them. I'd rather see Frontline try and take a touch here, try and just draw EnVy out of this defensive grip that they currently have. And that's maybe how you can get them. That's better. A pass a little bit closer, which drew Turbo out. 2 Frontline players committed to it, but at least they won it. Didn't lead to anything, but just an example of what you can do against EnVy when they have the lead, when they're defending deep, when they're trying to frustrate you. But down the other end, this is what they'll do. They'll pass the Turbo Pulsar, who'll score. It's beautiful again. The pass is absolutely killing Frontline right now.
Well, and just the finesse of the touch, just so gentle, so soft, right into the box, and just lays it on a pedestal for Turbo. Turbo getting his first goal here in game number 2. And Team EnVy with a very comfortable lead, a 3-0 margin. Looks like we're going to go to a 1-1 series scoreline.
I think this is more what we expected from this series as well. EnVy pretty much having the ability to force chances at will and to suppress any frontline attack as we're seeing now. They're spacing out a lot more in this second game, Team EnVy. They seem more confident, they seem more well-oiled, just in more control than we expected them to have.
Well, and they're getting saves on the defensive end, that helps.
Exactly, that's true, yeah. Maybe that was the problem. Maybe they concede 1 goal and suddenly their game plan goes out the window, is what happened in game 1. Perhaps. I don't know. One of those things. Either way, EnVy are going to take this second game. Maybe they'll have time for a 4th. Atomic fancies it. Does he get it? No, it's well closed down by Andy. Go on, Turbo. Get yourself a pass. To
Atomic!
Ah, boo!
Boo!
Ah, unbelievable. That would have been a nice 0-second goal.
Atomic went from the best teammate to the worst teammate in a matter of seconds there.
You gotta love it, though. It shows the confidence that Team EnVy have. Yeah. They're messing about. They're starting to feel like this is really their series to lose in this one. And do you think that Frontline did anything worse, or was it purely EnVy starting to play better there?
I think EnVy just purely started to play better. You see Team Frontline still getting 5 shots. Delta was held to a goose egg, only 1 save on the board. But Team EnVy were just really consistent on defense, getting the saves and then going to offense. And the passing plays that they can come out with are incredible.
They are. Yeah, and they're timing them really well now as well, EnVy. They're not overdoing these infield passes. So often with these pass-heavy teams, you see them try it again and again and again. And it's like, right, I mean, if I can see it, then I'm sure these players on the pitch can see it coming. But EnVy, they have this way of only putting the ball into the center when they know it's the correct decision to make, and it was working time and time again in that second game. And this could be another example of Atomic being found by Turbo. Is he coming in? No, it's well saved. I'll try again though, EnVy. Good start from them in this third game. Straight into the action. No time to discuss too much more what's happening. Here it comes, Turbo. He shoots and scores just about.
And Team EnVy just doing a great job of boost-starving the defense here. Both Andy and Beastabonium had 0, and Delta was the only one with boost, and you called it out. Good finish there. So make sure you secure that goal.
Early start for Team EnVy. They've pretty much dominated possession and had all sorts of chances in the first 20 seconds or so of this third game. I'll be very pleased about that indeed. Really starting to build ahead of steam. Every time Team Frontline knock it backwards, it's just EnVy launching their next wave of pressure. They need to be smarter with their transitions. That was a good attempt, but Beastabonium wasn't quite there. Actually, he was in the end. He comes to the ceiling. Could he get round here? He can. Great effort from him. Misread it. But it's all about that transition game from Frontline. If they're finding each other in defense and passing it out, they can break past EnVy. But until then, EnVy just find it easy.
Yeah, and right now, it looks like Team Frontline, while they're on offense right now, on the defensive end, they're going for those... Whoa! Nice save by Miss, but they're going for the panic clears instead of reading where Atomic, Turbopulsa, and Mist are all at, and Beastabonium has to rush back quick as that shot was on target, and Mist gets a double, but Andy there for the save, and Beastabonium, not a lot of boost in the tank, can't do much, and this is going to stay in Team EnVy's favor.
Taking more touches though now, Frontline, not booming everything away, which is really what they need to do. Delta tries it again there, so at least he gets a clean 50-50 on Mist, but a couple of good touches from Mist. Gave Turbopulsa something of a half chance, but Andy sweeps up well, and this time, boom is the right play, because look at the stress that it puts on Atomic in that far corner. He eventually does have something of a clean hit, but Delta reads it. Mist is coming in and has to make a good reflex save. Frontline just starting to worm their way back into this one.
And this is a good opportunity here for Delta, using a lot of boost, gets Atomic to go. Great pass over to Andy,
beautiful.
And Delta gonna clean up shop. That is what Team Frontline needs to do.
I don't think anyone was expecting the pass here at all. Look at that, Mist and Atomic both pre-jumping the solo play. And it ends up being a top pass to Andy and then put in by Delta. Great return goal from Team Frontline, and you know, we said there were signs that they were starting to figure out Team EnVy again in what's been a really back and forth series, and that's what earned them their goal.
And they just withered down the defense, and Atomic, respecting the fact that Beastabonium had the ground pinch available, tried to slow things up and leads to this turnover here. Delta, good challenge there on Miss, seeing where that flick could go and taking away that only angle.
Here's Andy in the corner, goes high instead of trying to find his teammate. Turbopulsa forces that ball above his goal. This one's going to hit the crossbar from Delta. And it's coming in against Mist. That's a clean win from Mist. And EnVy and Turbopulsa looking for a little bit of pressure of their own this time. It started to slow down big time. Oh my goodness, what a save. I think it was Andy coming in. That was so difficult. 1 to avoid Turbo, 2 not to own goal, and 3 to beat Turbo to the goal. And Turbo is doing his thing that he likes to do, where he puts the ball into his own backboard, and is making them take risk after risk, and Beastabonium comes in. Frontline somehow have turned it around.
And Beastabonium getting his first goal of the series, and it couldn't have come at a more opportune time. And yeah, you got to question Turbo with that kind of wraparound clear there, led to a turnover right in the offensive zone of Team Frontline. And Team Frontline looking to start things off here, but Atomic trying to go up. And look at Turbo just causing mayhem back there on the goal line.
Oh, so was Atomic, and eventually it falls to Miss. I think there was a bump and a double commit and all sorts, but Miss does the easiest job in the world. There's Atomic, look at this, beating Andy to the ball there. What a touch.
And it's just good pressure. Team EnVy just rattling the cage of Team Frontline, and Team Frontline can't keep their wheels on the ground comfortably. They've got to continue to keep their head on a swivel and look out for those demos that are coming from left and right.
They need to stay confident here, though. Now EnVy have got them back in. It'll be so easy for Team Frontline to feel sorry for themselves and feel like they've missed an opportunity to really get a foothold in this series. They have to keep banging on the door of EnVy. This is a good start. Andy goes to the back wall, but Mist was reading it. Beastabonium underneath Mist. Got a good touch. Oh, but what a 50-50 from Mist. Just when I thought that Beastabonium would have a clean ball to play with, Mist falls on it and makes it tougher. Good transition from EnVy. Mist on the side. Gets the flip reset. His mechanics at the moment are just in tip-top form. But Andy's closing down Atomic well. Beastabonium's coming in. Couldn't quite score, though.
It was a good read there by Turbo, seeing where Beastabonium was, and Beastabonium tried to read it, but Turbo got the power behind that hit. Beastabonium fires way off target there. You think maybe if he slots it right down the center, it could go in.
Oh,
but still all tied up. Turbo can't find the ceiling shot. And right now, a little bit of scrambleness on Team Frontline's defensive end. And still unable to clear this ball. Team EnVy looking strong on offense.
There was a little bit of scrambleness, as you call it, from Andy and Beastabonian, but Delta, he was facing his own goal, and he would have had every instinct to just get a touch on that ball, just in case there was an EnVy man coming on. But there wasn't, and he had the call to do that, and he turned away from it brilliantly. So thanks to his decision-making, EnVy didn't get what could have been an easy goal if it had popped to them. And Frontline survived. This is falling down. Atomic and Mist need to read this. They do, but Beastabonian now has a chance to shoot. Oh, if he'd have just shot it low, then the demo or the bump could have come in on Turbo, and that could have been the game for Frontline. As it stands, EnVy come again. They go for that well-timed pass, but this time it's not. Mist has to save. Look how deep he is. Delta on the back wall. It's Frontline that are pushing towards overtime, but we will find our way into overtime. Let's find out who takes it.
Oh, and good kickoff there for Team Frontline, putting the pressure right on, but Delta kind of just throwing that ball over to nobody, and you got to think, what happens if he keeps that one close to his chest? Either way, it doesn't matter too much, as this ball's just going back and forth. Overtime going to be finding out who can really gather up that stranglehold over midfield.
I always back EnVy in overtime. I always back any team with Turbo Pulsar, and that is why. Shows all the composure in the world just to wait and get the easy goal. Isn't that what he's done his entire career? And he's done it here once again.
And all it takes is one simple mistake. A double commit comes out from Team Frontline, and you called it, the composure from Turbo just waiting patiently, and seals the deal here in game number 3 for Team EnVy.
Team EnVy take the lead, for the first time in this series, having lost game number 1. But it was not easy for them. Turbo Pulse at the top of the scoreboard there, but I don't think he had the cleanest game, particularly in defense, with some very weird touches that put his team in trouble at times.
Yeah, you see 3 saves. Like, I think 2 of those were because he hit the ball at the net and had to get in front of it.
He's out here grinding saves. He wants the Savior of the Season award or whatever it's called.
He's cheating the season, yeah, or cheating the system rather, not the season. Yeah, good game regardless from Team EnVy. They cleaned it up when they needed to most right there in overtime. And here we go, Team Frontline. I called out, hey, they might get 1 win. They're looking at a 3-1 loss here unless they can take game 4.
I'd love to see them start well in this game. If EnVy score the first goal, or even the first couple, I can really see Team Frontline starting to get frustrated and just bowing out with a whimper. But if they score this first goal, then the series is alive and well. Let's see how it plays out. Here is Delta, the clean touch. Atomic reaches it, but it's only as far as Andy, who went for the infield pass. I think he couldn't decide whether he wanted to shoot or pass, and in the end did neither, really. Beastabonian is over the top of him. Oh, missed is quality.
He hit the defender into this ball. I don't know if it calculated or counted as a full shot, but right there.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
It's Beastabonian, man. It missed is just so cool under pressure.
Oh, wow. I'm so glad for these replays that go in slow motion. I did not even realize that at the time. I thought it was just your classic quick double touch. But in the end, it was something so much better. But EnVy won't care too much how the goal was scored. All they'll care about is the fact that they are 1-0 up in this 4th game. Could be 2 here. Mist onto the backboard. Mist shoots. Easy as you like. 2-0 EnVy.
Did this one make you go, how did he get that much power on it? Because that's what I'm wondering. 65 miles per hour, and I thought it was just going to turn into a lame duck, but somehow Mist putting the shots on target and keeping this one out of reach from Team Frontline.
Looking like one of those games where all EnVy want to do is get the ball to Mist as often as possible. Last seen in the playoffs of Regional 1. Here he comes again. He gets the first touch. Beastabonian and Delta terrified of what he can offer right now. Double committing yet again. It's Atomic onto the backboard. Turbo underneath. We'll have Mist in the center, and no doubt we'll try and pick him out. Here he is. Does he shoot or pass? It's a little bit of a shot. Trying to go for that top corner. We've seen a goal like that so far today. The touch over the top. Mist onto the back wall. And Frontline struggling to break clear, but maybe this is the moment. Andy has a chance to dribble. Mist is already up for his flick, but Andy will get another touch, but it's... I was going to say it was poor. It was actually a solo play effort when I think he could have passed, but it almost worked, and I like the fact that he was at least trying something different, even if it didn't work.
Yeah, you got to try different things against Team EnVy, especially when you're down 2 goals and missed. Big swing and a miss. You could see the windup coming from a mile away, and Andy just going to send this one downfield. But like you were talking about, Cole, they need to get away from those long booming clears unless it's something like that where it forces pressure on Atomic.
Yeah, back to their old problem against Team EnVy. They try and play it out. EnVy close them down. They try and boom it. EnVy are already there. What they need is to beat them to the ball more simply. And there's a good example. And Frontline aren't dead yet.
Well, Team EnVy was going with those passing plays, and eventually your opponent's going to learn your play style. And Delta, reading them like a book there, cuts the lead down to 1, and Team Frontline still have life here in game number 4.
Let's see if they can continue to build that momentum. 1 goal could be enough just to shake them back into this one, especially if Delta can double down. He's up against Turbo, who does get the read out wide. Beastabonium should be able to do something against Atomic here. He actually slows down a bit too much, in my opinion. Missed with the double tap. He always sinks these, but it's saved well by Team Frontline, who now come forward themselves. Control to the backboard. Past Atomic. Delta's coming in. Can he get a double tap? Saved by Mist. Out to Turbo Pulsar. And just look how every clearance that EnVy make is straight to their teammate, who's already halfway down the field. It is a pleasure to behold at times how they defend.
And it's perfectly placed as well. It's in front of their teammate. Their teammate doesn't have to slow down. They can stay behind the ball and then place that ball wherever they want. Do you want to slow it up? Do you want to hit it forward? Do you want to try and pass it like we saw Turbo Pulsar try and do? You just allow so many things to come out, and Atomic got bumped there by Delta, but didn't lead to much. Beastabonium gonna put this ball up, but Mist easily clears it to the side, and just past the 2-minute mark in this game, and Team EnVy looking very strong here. They just seem to go down the field at will.
Yeah, but here comes Frontline down the other side. Beastabonium towards the backboard. Andy has a chance for a clean hit. Atomic misses. He and Delta faking each other out. Delta's still there, hovering. Just chilling on the EnVy backboard, trying to spook them and surprise them. It almost worked. Mist can take this one away now. He and Atomic combine. It's only the fall to Andy, and now we might have 2 EnVy players out of position for the first time in a while, thanks to that double commit. It's a 50-50 into the EnVy corner, but it is Atomic that gets it easily. Turbo Pulsar can pick up some more boost, and EnVy now should have control.
Yeah, and you saw it was a wonderful clear, but then there was no pressure behind the touch, so EnVy had all day to really just, all right, I'm going to grab boost pad. I'm going to, oh, beautiful
good
pass.
Touch.
But just off the mark, Beastabonium turned away as well. And Beastabonium gets the bump on Turbo, but Turbo rotates back perfectly to get this clear. 1 minute to go. Team Frontline still searching for 1.
I know that it's exactly what EnVy want, but I think we've reached the point now where Frontline need to shut that third man just a little bit further forward. These 50-50s, they're going into dangerous areas, but rarely is the Frontline third taking a risk. And EnVy are able to take a touch, boom it back if they have to, or at least force a 50-50. You need to see some risks being taken. It's currently Andy underneath Beastabonium's dribble. That's another example. Andy had turned away, so Turbo Pulsar gets a clean clearance. You don't have time for that Frontline, especially with EnVy coming back, but this is the chance. Turbo Pulsar making that miss. Delta now up against Atomic. Wants to get this 50-50 perfect, but Atomic's 50-50 game is so strong. Puts him at least to the side. Andy will come in again, but Turbo reads it. Stealing seconds away from this clock. We are so close to a 3-1 EnVy victory. Maybe one last chance for Frontline. Does he have the boost, Andy? Doesn't matter with Atomic getting that touch. All the ball has to do is touch the floor and EnVy have this win. Mist should make that happen here. It's a little bit high. Could be kept up by Beastabonium right now. What can Frontline do? Delta onto the ceiling. Not very much at all. I think this one's dead, and indeed it is. Team EnVy grind out their victory.
A clean 3-1 series for them. They started off very slow, only getting 1 save in game 1, only getting 1 unassisted goal behind Turbo Pulsar, but they quickly cleaned it up and quickly caught fire here in this series. Team EnVy looked very strong against Frontline, and that was a fun series to watch, Cole. You love to see what Mist and Atomic can do with Turbo Pulsar behind the helm.
Absolutely, yeah. When they were finding each other, Mist and Atomic, it truly was a sight to behold. And I love seeing Mist coming into that series more and more as an attacking focal point, really. He was trusting his mechanics more as the series went on. He is a player that is in fine form right now. And it's good to see him playing like that. But as for Frontline, Subi, how do you rate their chance of making it out of this Swiss today?
Oh, it's going to be hard if they played like that, to be honest. I want to see a little more sense of urgency, even if you're up in the series like they were after game one. They just seemed very complacent, and it seemed like they thought they were going to take down Team EnVy very easily, and that is not the case. And the respect factor was there, but you just got to play with a little more speed. They tried to slow it down too much. They tried to space apart too much. And in today's Rocket League, you were saying it, the 50-50s were going in their favor, but no one was there for a follow-up, and you're not going to find success like that. So hopefully they can change things up later on today.
Well, as ever, F-Dot will be furiously refreshing Twitter, waiting to see your comments. And you can speak to him directly and the rest of us by @ing the RL Esports Twitter account and using hashtag RLCSX. We're going to go to a quick break, but be back in a few minutes' time because there's still so much more Rocket League. There's so much more, Subi.
A lot. It's a bunch.